Hello.
Hi, everyone. Okay, it's already 8 a.m. Thanks, everybody, for joining. I know there are I see new people here. So thanks, everyone, for joining. And today's session, right, it's about business analyst documentation. Okay, so are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to give you a little bit background about this training, right? This 5 days training. So this is specifically designed for business analyst documentation. This is not the complete course. The focus is on 3 topics. So we are going to focus on how to write a BRD, and then how to draw data flow diagrams, and how to write some technical documents. So so these are the 3 topics that we will be focusing on for the next 5 days. Okay. So before we start the session, I just want to give you a little bit background about me. So I'm Pradeepa. I'm currently in the United States in Georgia. So I have about 15 years of experience as a BA, and currently, I'm working on for one of the Fortune founded companies in Georgia as a lead business analyst. So the reason why you guys are here is because of my YouTube channel, right? So that's my passion. Teaching is my passion. So I'm just doing it as part time, my YouTube channel, and also my training. So many of you have many questions of becoming a BA, whether it has got scope. I am from non-IT. Can I become a BA? Can I transition my career from a different field to an IT and all that? So from my perspective, I've been in the industry for 15 years. My recommendation is there is always a scope for a good business analyst or a system analyst, because to develop any kind of software, right, we need requirements. We need proper requirements. Without proper requirements, we cannot develop any software product. So a developer can develop the product, but in order for the developer to create any software application, he needs proper technical requirements, right? Without that, he cannot create anything. For example, you take a house. So I want a house. I want a very good, nice, good looking house with all proper details and everything. The architect has to give the design to the construction guys. Okay, without that plan, without those proper solid requirement what the client wants, we cannot have a good house, right? We cannot build a good house. The same thing, you are developing a software product in IT. We are developing, everything is going to be in future, right? AI is going to come. It will be more advanced in the future. In the next 30 years, everything is going to be online. You're going to see less manual process. So there is always IT enhancements, new products are going to come, and always there is always constantly in the future, right? People are going to develop these software products. So my recommendation is there is always a good scope for business analyst or system analyst, but the skill set is going to be different. Like before, in 10 years, we have people doing all this from scratch. Okay, so if I want to write a BRD, 10 years back, it's different, but now it's different. It's going to be a little bit different. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is a real-time project. So let me take a project. So I'm just mute everybody so that we don't have any disturbances. Okay. So this is a sample project. This is a real-time project. Okay, this project is about Capital Program Management System, CPMS in Maryland. This is a real-time government-based project in the US. So this was in 2014. So if you see the sample BRD, you'll be able to see that they have created the first draft in April 29, 2014, exactly 10 years back. And then they've done the final version or the second draft in on 30th. Okay. So first what they have done is here, they've listed a list of contributors to this document. So if you see, you're able to see that we have a contract business analyst. Okay. For this project, we have a project manager. We have a project owner. Then we have a subject matter expert. Then you have a lead developer. All these people are some contract. Some are full-time, some are contract. Okay. Lead developer, you have a developer. And then in finance, you're going to have a subject matter expert. And then like a department of transportation, and then you have state highway, like so many people are there. Okay. And department of legislative services, all their names are there. So these are the key stakeholders who have contributed for this document. And we have the business analysts who have written this document, right? So we have like all the people who contributed for this document. So first is like you're going to have the project name and the year, and if you want to have the logo, you're going to have that. And then in the second page, you're going to have the versions. Okay, so version history is very, very important. So you're going to have all the versions and how many people contributed this to this document. So this project is about, I'll tell you what is this project about so that you can, this is a real-time actual project so that you guys get an idea of like how actual projects work. So if you see here, if you see the table of contents, you're able to see that we have a summary, we have the stakeholders list, we have risk assessment, we have assumptions, and we're going to have like currently what is happening, and in future, like what are the functionalities that is expected to happen. So what is the scope and why are we doing this project, and approvals. So for any kind of automation or any kind of like software development, right, we need to have a solid reason because, right, it needs funding. So there are going to be many people who are going to be involved in developing a software product. So we are going to have at least one lead BA, we're going to have another BA, we're going to have developers, we're going to have testers, we're going to have project manager, and also you'll be interacting with other IT teams. Suppose if you are from a IT team and your application is dependent on other IT teams. So, and those people, their engineers, everyone also needs to be involved, right? So any project needs funding. Without funding, we cannot start a project. So first thing is, as a lead BA, you have to make sure that this project is having funding. How will you make sure that you will be getting from your project manager? So your project manager will tell you whether this process or the new project, right, this initiative has funding or not. If this initiative doesn't have funding, then mostly what you will be doing is you will be understanding, like you'll be giving like what is the scope, what is the level of effort it's going to take to make sure this software is available for the users, right? So currently something is manual, and the project manager is going to come to you and tell that, okay, today everything, this process is currently manual, okay, but we want to automate this in like 3 months, we want a software, but please let me know the level of effort from your team and how many developers are involved or how many like testers will be there, and just give me the level of effort or give me an estimate. So as a lead BA, what you will do is you will go talk to the stakeholders. Okay, so you will talk to the stakeholders, you will understand currently what is the functionality, what is the problem that you guys are facing, and what you want, what is the expectation of this project. And then, so once you get an idea of like what they want, then you are going to give an estimate to your project manager. So on a high level, like how many developers will be needed, and how many testers will be needed, and then how many, like how long it will take to complete this project, to do end-to-end testing and all. So you will give that estimate to the project manager, and then that estimate, the project manager will review that estimate, and finally he'll be giving it to the leadership team, and they will come out whether we have funding or not. But if you already have funding, okay, so something like this, for example, this is like a state project, right? So Maryland department, this is funded by the state. Okay, so for this funding is there, the state is giving ample amount of funding. So what you guys will do is like here you have the very first call, you need to what you need to understand is like, okay, I need to know about Department of Transportation of Maryland. Okay, you can be a contractor. If you see here, the person who has draft this document is a contractor, right? So business analyst is a contractor. So you can be a contractor and you have no idea about Maryland transportation, and your project manager is coming and telling you that, yeah, let's say that you work for TCS. Okay, now the project manager is coming and telling you that, hey, we got a new project from Department of Transportation of Maryland, and they said that funding is already available. Can you start the conversation? Now from scratch, you don't know, okay, you don't know nothing, you don't know about anything. So what you will do is, first, to create this document, or at least to have an idea of what is this project about, you need to, from your side, you need to do research on, like, what is this Department of Transportation. Like aviation means it's different. I mean, road transportation is going to be different. Like if you see here, right? So buses, and then also like government based like airlines. So what is included, what is scope, and what is like out of scope. So little bit background, you're going to like research on all these department, and then you're going to go there. Of course, you will not have a complete idea, but if you see here, you can see that port administration, transit administration, vehicle administration, and then aviation. So there are like there is an international airport here. So from there we have buses. So government based like buses transporting from the airport to all the to the city, right? Entire Maryland, we are having that transportation. So what ideally, like, I think the project about this project is like, they want to automate the like the bus schedules. They want to make it everything online. Okay, so people are standing in the bus stop, and they don't want the public to be like waiting, like when this bus is going to come. They want to have a standard schedule, and they want everything to be available online. So we need to have a QR code somewhere in the bus stand, and then when people scan that QR code, they must be able to like see, like for example, bus number 3, so we have like 3 more minutes, it's coming on the way. Or you can even track where that bus is, like, and then when it's going to reach your stop, and from like how long it's going to take from your stop to another stop. We want to automate this process, right? So why we are doing it? Because we want to save time for the public, for everybody, like for the drivers, and we want to make sure that we don't have uh, like this problems during the schedule, especially this bus schedule, because we don't know, like there are multiple people standing in the bus stops waiting for the bus, and then you don't know, you have no idea whether it's cancelled or bus is on the way, how long it's going to take for me from go from one destination to another destination. So for that, we are going to automate everything, okay, in online, especially Department of Transportation Maryland. We are going to automate whatever department under is coming under this, right? We are going to automate that. Okay, so what you will do is, you will do like a research on about this department, and you will be coming up in the very first call. You will come, you will talk to them, ask the stakeholders that, can you explain about the current process? Okay, so first thing is, to write a BRD, you need to know the current process. Okay, tell me the current process, what is happening, and then what kind of automation you want. So they are non-IT people, right? They don't have any background on like how to automate things. Okay, so they are like, who are stakeholders? Stakeholders are nothing but business owners who are going to come and tell you that, hey Pradeepa, currently everything is manual. Okay, our end users, public, don't have any access, uh, and they have no idea when the bus is coming. So everything, all they're doing is they're standing there and they're watching out. So what we want to do is like, we want to automate this. We want them to have an idea of, like for example, if there is bus number 1, when that bus number 1 is coming to which station, and then how many time and how long I have to wait, everything can be tracked. So we need a centralized this online tracking system. So that's what we want. So if they come and tell you, you need to understand the current process. You need to take notes. Okay, so this is the OneNote application. So you can use this. This is for all taking all your notes, right? You can use this application, or however you want. You can record the call. Please ask them permission, because there can be offshore resources too. So we don't want to like show any kind of like real-time member data from on-site. So we have to make sure that there is nobody from offshore. If you're actually showing some real like prod data, right, when sharing the screen, please make sure there is no offshore resources. And you have to like also like ask them permission. Can I like record the call, because I cannot remember everything, and I have to document this. I'm going to create a BRD for you guys, so I want to record this. So ask them permission, and mostly they'll be like, yes, you can record, and please record the session. So first thing is, you will record the session. Okay, So professionally, like this is what you will do. You will record the session. Next thing is you will be asking about the current process. So in order for you to write the BRD, I've already told you that where is the document? Yeah. So in order to first write it from scratch, first the revision history that you will be the one who will be writing. So you know the date when you are starting this document. Then you need to like get all the stakeholders list. Okay. Who are the primary stakeholders? Like how many people has to come to this call and how many people I have to like invite for this elicitation calls, right? So I'm going to have everybody, especially all the subject matter experts from various departments. So they are going to say, different, right? For bus route it's going to be different, for like airways it's going to be different, and like from airport to and from one destination or other destination it's going to be different. So we are going to involve all the primary stakeholders. And then what you're going to like write is the next one is table of contents. So in the table of contents, always you're going to write first is like what is the problem that we have to address, okay, the functional capabilities that we have to address, and the areas that are impacted, and the reason for this project. So because anybody who reads this document has to understand that why I'm spending $1 million on creating this software, why am I spending like $5 million for this, because the reason is people are struggling. Okay, so for here, recent years, various modifications and upgrades have been provided temporary solutions to the growing need for more robust and modern platform to manage the transportation capital program. And they are having technical glitches due to all these upgrades. Additionally, we have difficulty finding contract support to maintain this legacy system. Also we are compromising the functionality and reliability of the system. So we need a case study. In the case study, what they found is current CPMS environment have possible strategies to retain the current system, modify the current system, or replace the current system. So they're having some issues. So that's what we are going to write here. So what is the reason for this project? Why we are making sure this project is being done in like next 6 months? And then what is the scope of this project? Okay, so what you have done is you have researched existing systems, you have researched possible vendors, you have reviewed all the documentation, and you have also reviewed all the existing like functionality. Like I told you, what is the current process, so all the existing functionality. And you arranged meetings with all the document regarding the document stakeholders regarding the current transportation usage. You arranged meetings for to document stakeholders future business requirements. So like I told you, currently what's happening, and then in future what they want. So you have arranged meetings for that too. And then what have you provided? You provided CPMS product owners with weekly project updates. So once you finalize on the requirements, now you have to provide them weekly updates, right? So that also you're documenting here. And then you're going to facilitate, you will be the lead BA, and you will be facilitating formal and informal project update meetings. So you got the point. So first thing is like logo, first page is logo, and you're going to add the project name, year, and everything. The next one is the version history. The third one is who are the important stakeholders, very crucial, critical stakeholders, their names. And then you're going to have table of contents. In the table of contents, always first thing is this project summary, right? What are the objectives that we are going to meet? Currently, like this department, what are the problems that they are facing? And then in future, like what are the areas that is getting affected, and what is the reason for this project? And then what are the work that as a BA, like what have you did and what are you going to do in future? So up to this, like I think you should be able to gather in the first 3 or 4 calls. Okay, so once you know like what is the current process, and then in future what they want, and then how many people are involved, you get an idea like what is the dependency. You are from a particular team, and maybe like 3 to 4 departments are we have dependency here. So you put all their names, and you have like a little bit like high view on like, okay, this is going to have very grand scope, because there are like so many departments, areas that is getting affected, right? So we have finance, we have audit, we have aviation, transportation, state highway, transit, and then motor vehicle. Like there are so many departments are affected here. Now, if already the funding is approved, and then you think that no, this has like a very large scope, you have to tell to your manager that no, I think let's say that there is funding for 1 million for this project, okay, and you think that no, this is going to take 6 months, and it's going to take like, we have so much dependency with other IT teams, and I don't think so we can finish this in like 2 or 3 months, like whatever they are thinking. So you have to like make a risk assessment. Okay, so what are the risks for this project, and like from your perspective, I don't think so this can be done in 3 or 4 months. So you're going to do that risk analysis and submit it to your manager. If you feel that the scope of this project is going to be like too much, we cannot finish it, because you know, right, as a lead BA, like how many developers we have and how many testers we have, and then what is the priority for this project, and this is a state project. So we know that state projects is always like, we have compliance issues. This needs to be done within a particular date. And if we don't finish within that particular date, then we are going to pay penalties, right? So there are so many complications when it comes to a government-based project like this, especially in the US. So you have to do all that risk analysis and you will submit it. So when you create a BRD, simultaneously, you will also be doing the risk analysis. Okay, so record the session, and you have to document the current process to be processed, and then you're going to have all the stakeholders' names. Okay, and then you're going to have a very good idea on the overall like a process. Okay, data flow, and then dependencies, whether like how many teams are dependent. So what are the dependencies for this project? And how long it will take. So you will have a guess of like, okay, this is going to take 6 months, even though we are going to do in sprints. Like for example, in Agile, you have sprint, right? 2 in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, even though we are going to go do in sprints. But maybe since the scope of this project is going to be very large, maybe it is going to take 6 to 8 months. So your guess is timeline and the level of effort. Level of effort, I have told you, right? Funding problem. So we need to know we have enough funding. Especially people in the US who are in this call, you have to be aware of this funding process, because on-site business analyst needs to have this estimation skill. Okay, because if you are adding 8+ years in your resume, you are adding 10+ years in your resume, you have a green card, but you do have a huge gap, and your consultancy, someone is telling like add 6+, 4+, 8+, and you don't know how to estimate. You don't know what is the level of effort, and you don't know that uh, how long it will take for a project to end. Then in that case, I don't think so they're going to select you, right? In the interview, they're going to ask you, do you know what is level of effort? Have you estimated? Tell me like whether you have interacted with multiple IT teams, and how did you gather requirements? Can you tell me the process? What are the techniques you use to like gather requirements? So in that case, especially if you're on-site in the US, please, if you're adding like 8+ years of experience and you're going as directly like a lead BA, you need to make sure that you know what is this level of effort. How do you estimate that? And how you are making sure that the funding is approved. Okay. Next is record the session. This is very crucial. You have to record the session and you need to take notes. Okay. Take notes, and then you're going to do the risk analysis. So in the risk analysis, so what you're telling in the risk analysis, like what is the scope of this project, and like whether we have enough resources, and whether like what are the timelines. So if we have a very strict deadline, we have time restrictions, and if it's going to be like any compliance issues. Okay, so if we don't finish this project in a particular date, then what kind of problems we are going to face, and then like what is the backup plan, what is the plan B. So that is the risk analysis you will be doing as a BA, and you will be submitting it to your project manager. Okay, let's go to this one. Next is like, okay, so you're now writing the summary, and then what kind of dependencies you have, and then what is the areas that is affected, and then what is the reason for this project. Okay, any doubts till now?
Pradeepa, can you explain about risk analysis, Pradeepa, a little more?
So risk, like as a BA, right, you will understand, like for example, this project, if you see the dependency, the areas affected, it's like more than one department is affected here. We have finance, we have audit, we have like so many departments are affected. So if you think that this is going to take more than 6 months, because we have so much dependency, so much data needs to be collected, and our system has to integrate with multiple departments. Okay, so if you think this cannot be done in 6 months, you have a timeline restriction, you have a funding restriction, you have a resource restriction, or you think that it can be anything. Okay, you have some kind of restrictions and you have constraints, you need to raise that as a risk.
Okay, thank you.
If so, yeah, suppose you say that you have a dependency on this finance team, and if you can complete your development or you can do end-to-end testing only if this department is ready. And if they don't coordinate, they don't come to calls, and they don't have no idea about this project, then that is a risk for you, right? Because you cannot go live.
Yeah.
So all that, I mean, you will not, very first call, you will not able to identify the risk. It will take 3 to 4 calls, but you have to, like, if you are able to capture that initially, like in the first 2 calls, you think that people are not coming to the calls, and there are like so many dependencies and people are not aware of the scope of this project, then you have to rate as a risk. Okay. Okay. Does anybody have any other questions? Till now?
Ma'am, this whole report will be prepared by a single business analyst or a group of business analysts?
Single, it will be you.
Everything.
Yes.
Ma'am, is this the job of a senior business analyst or junior business analyst?
Senior.
Oh.
Senior. Okay, so someone who has 8+. Okay, they'll be considered senior. Junior BAs will be usually someone who will be like taking notes and all that, but I don't think so. You can have a lot of jobs as a junior BA, right? So from whatever emails I'm getting, people have a huge career gap. Either they got married, they are at home like for 6 months, I mean 6 years, 7 years, and they want to get back, or someone is like currently in a different field and they want to get into IT, or someone is like um, they did their, I mean, they tried for the government exams, now they want to get into IT, they didn't pass the government exam in India, and then they want to get into IT. So whatever I am seeing the profiles, right, currently they are not junior BAs. People have career gaps, they have they want to transition from one field to another field, and they want to directly become a senior BA, right? So for those people, you need to, like, you have to learn all these skills and then get that job, right? You want to go now, if you are 30+ and you want to go into a junior BA, you will regret it in future. You'll regret it, because people are going to be there in 23, 24, 25. They're going to be there, and you're going to be with the same grade like them, and you are 30+, you are 35 or something, and you're going to, their pay and your pay is going to be the same, and you have to catch up somewhere. Okay, so my recommendation is people who have this huge career gap, please upgrade your skills in next 3 months, and then please, like, get trained by someone, or please watch all this. There is so much content in YouTube. Please watch all that YouTube videos, and please upgrade your skills, and somehow go as a director, like a lead BA, right? Because you will survive. You will survive, because the first 3 months, I know it's going to be tough, but you have to catch up somewhere, so that you have that, like, you become a senior BA, your pay grade is high, you're somewhere like you're settled down in your career for that age level. So I wouldn't recommend anyone who is like above 30 to go as like a junior BA. Okay, any other doubts? Any other doubts till now?
Hey, hi Pradeepa, this is Chandramohan this side. I just wanted to know what is the contribution of a product manager in this sort of situation where we have to gather requirements and all those things.
Product manager or project manager?
Product manager.
Product, right?
Yeah,
Product. Okay. I mean, you're saying product owner?
yeah.
Okay. So product owner mostly will be like tracking all the I mean, he or she will be responsible for this backlog management. Okay. So when you say that you are an IT team and you have about 3 BAs, okay? 3 BAs, you have 10 developers, and then you have 10 testers, okay? So you are a one team. Now what will happen is, so you are one Scrum team, and then you are going to have 3 BAs, 10 developers, 10 testers, and then maybe one Scrum Master. And then one product owner. Okay, so this is one Scrum team. So if you are one BA, okay, I am a BA, and then you are a BA, and we have a third person. There are 3 BAs in our team. So what we will do is, our day-to-day activity is we will be gathering requirements for multiple projects. Okay, so as a lead BA, I may be gathering requirements for 3 to 4 projects, and then maybe you are doing another 3 to 4 project, and then the other person is a junior BA, so he's doing like 1 or 2 projects. So currently in our IT team, we have about 4, 8, 10 projects simultaneously, like 10 projects are going, and we have a very small Scrum team. What we're going to do is, you will be creating user stories, and you will be creating it in Jira, and it will be in the backlog. Let me take my Jira screen so that you can understand. Okay, so what you will do is, now you gathered requirements. Let's take an example. Now I gathered requirement. I'm doing click create. I'm creating a story. Okay, let's say like automation for Maryland transportation. I'm just giving you a sample. I'm creating it. Okay, I'm just now creating it. It's now in the backlog. Okay, now if you see in the backlog, I'm going to have like so many user stories. Like we have 3 BAs, right, in our team. Everybody is going to create user stories for all the 10 projects. So they are creating multiple user stories for all the 10 projects. Now, it is not my responsibility to manage all the stories. Okay, as a BA, my responsibility is, I have 3 to 4 projects. I'm gathering requirements. I'm creating all the user stories. Okay, that is my work. But a product owner is responsible to make sure that we have like all these 10 projects. We have user stories for all the 10 projects as a Scrum team. So the project owner is responsible for grooming all the user stories. So if you have 10 projects, and we have very limited resources, we have only like 10 developers, 10 testers, and let's say we have only like 3-week sprint. 3-week sprint is like, for example, we have 15 working days, right? So we have only 15 working days, and then that is in case like we don't have any holidays, right? So if we have 15 working days, and then we have only like 10 developers, 10 testers, and we have like 10 projects now, and all the user stories in the backlog. Now, how do we prioritize things? So product owner is responsible for mainly for prioritization, backlog management. Okay, so among the 10 projects, which is crucial, which story can be picked up for the upcoming sprint? And then like the prioritization is mostly like depends upon like for example, compliance issue, right? This is a state project, so this will become a high priority. Something that is having some production issue, multiple people are affected, that will be like a high priority. So difference between a product owner and a business analyst is responsible for gathering requirements, creating user stories, creating BRDs, and then you will do all coordinating with testers, developers, and UAT testing. Okay, that is a BA job. Whereas product owner job is, as a team, as a Scrum team, the product owner's responsibility is to manage all the user stories in the backlog. If I have 100 user stories, and my team can only pick 20 for the next sprint. Okay, how do I prioritize all the user stories? What are the user stories that are essential? Which has high priority? Which has medium priority? Which has low priority? So that prioritization and backlog management is the product owner job, not your job. Okay, what you will do is, whatever projects they are giving to you, they're assigning to you, you will schedule calls with the business owners. You will like do all this documentation. You will create the user stories. That's all. But if there are like 100 user stories in the backlog, and we have a very limited team, Then it is up to product manager to decide which is going first, which user stories we have to pick up for the next sprint. And I've told you the reasons, right? High priority is always like 3 different things. First is compliance issue. Okay, what comes under high priority is always compliance issue. Okay, so we have a state project that is compliance issue. Compliance issue will always be the highest priority, always. Then you have production issues to fix. Okay, so multiple users are being impacted, then that will become high priority. You will leave all the user stories, drop all the user stories and work on the production issues. And then you have something like a state, like I told, right, state mandates. Then you have something like always with the law, something goes with the law, that will be high priority. So if you have 10 projects, as a team we have 10 projects, but in the 10 project, 2 projects are like having compliance issue, they are state mandates, then those 2 projects will be high priority because we have a limited Scrum team. So you got, I mean, I don't know who asked this question. Did you get an idea the responsibility between a BA and a product owner?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So
Thank you.
next. Okay. Does anybody have any other questions? Otherwise,
Yes, ma'am. I have one question.
Mhm.
Ma'am, let's say my client has a problem, and as a business analyst, I analyzed the whole company and all, and I suggested a solution. Is it also the business analyst job to say how much the profit is going to increase, like the percentage, how much the profit is going to increase, or how much more investment the person has to make? Is it also the business analyst job?
Yeah, cost benefit analysis. I mean, like you can do it, but it needs to go through the manager. So you always have to. I mean, you can do your analysis and give it to the manager, but manager has to review and approve and talk to leadership. Okay, so you are from an IT team. Okay, you have to understand you're not from the leadership team. You are a liaison between leadership and developers, right? So your role is kind of like you'll do all this impact analysis and everything. Okay, impact analysis, risk analysis, cost benefit analysis, all that you can do. But the max what you can do is you can tell them that, see here, if you go this route, this is the cost and this is the benefit. And if you go like plan B, this is the cost and this is the pros and cons, all that analysis that you can do and give it to them. But it's up to manager and leadership to take the decision. So from an IT team perspective, you will have data, right? Because you have, like, if it's an existing process, you have ample amount of data. Last 1 year, what has happened, and last 1 month, what has happened, how many people have enrolled in this particular system, how many people opted out, and what is the feedback, what is the system's performance, whether like what's the feedback from the end users, how many production incidents we have had, and how did we fix that. So you can do any kind of impact analysis and then cost benefit analysis, and you can give it to them. But you need to always understand this is an MNC. Okay, it's a corporate thing, and we work for corporate. We are working as a full-time or a contractor. This is like a corporate thing, right? So always corporate companies will do their analysis and all. If they're going to spend $10 million, they need to have a valid reason. So from your perspective, you will do all the analysis and then you can give it to your manager. From there, they will take it up to leadership. Okay, but we cannot force things. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, we are from IT, so we cannot force business to accept or reject our proposal. But you can say from an IT perspective, you can always say that, see here, this is what will happen. If you don't go to this route in future, like in 2 or 3 years, this is what is going to happen. You can always tell to them, but it's up to them to decide. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. I have another question, a few questions.
Yes.
Ma'am, you are repeatedly telling that business analyst is like an IT job, but how? We are telling the company how to manage them and giving them.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Radha.
Yeah, I'm Radha. I have a doubt.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, as a BA, like we'll have some timeline for completing project. but we are not able to complete. How we as a BA, how I have to convince the stakeholders?
No, you're not convincing the stakeholders. It's your duty. If you find that you cannot complete it, you'll be able to do. Do you have IT experience or you're completely from non-IT background?
I don't have an experience, ma'am. I need to develop myself.
Correct. Okay. So Radha, that's fine. You don't have any experience. That's totally fine. I will tell you how in IT it works, right? So when you gather all these requirements, right, you will give a timeline, right? So when you gather all the requirements, you will be providing them a timeline. So this work can be finished in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, 4 months, whatever it is. Okay. Now you're saying that during the process, you understand that this cannot be completed within like that particular time, right, Radha?
Yeah.
Okay. So now you need to understand why. What's the reason? What's the reason that you're not able to complete?
Okay.
What's the reason? You tell me. What can be the reasons that you cannot?
Maybe due to like a technical issue and the like stakeholders may not be having satisfied with the software and they need some updates and all.
Correct. So you're going to find that in UAT, right? You know what is user acceptance testing?
Yes.
Okay. So what you will do is you need to like understand, you will find out what from whatever you're telling during user acceptance testing, you have a conflict with the stakeholders, they are not happy with the product. So our developers have to like again rework. That's why there is like that extension, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So like, for example, in a state mandate, okay, in a state project, like whatever I'm showing you, you cannot extend the timeline. Okay. So yeah, you should understand that for projects with the government, for projects with something like a state mandated compliance issue, something like that, you cannot extend the timeline. And you earlier in the process, during initially that first round of UAT itself, you have to come as a BA. You will say that, see here, we need some time, and I don't think so. We cannot go live on this particular day. So that is a full impact analysis. So whatever scenario that you are saying, right, that's an escalation for your team as well as for the business owners, because earlier itself you should have told, right, when you're calculating itself, you should have like, when you calculate the timeline for user acceptance testing, if it's 2-week sprint and 3-week sprint, and you're going to start that, and you identified huge critical issues during UAT testing, then you will be the first one who has to say to the business owners that like we cannot complete this in this particular timeline, and I don't think so, and you will give the reason why it cannot be completed, and you have to come with the plan, right? Because you have a solid deadline. For that deadline, if you don't go live on that particular date, then not only you, the company has to pay penalty. Okay, so we have to come up with a backup plan. So on that particular date, what are the issues that can be fixed? Okay, so plan A is critical issues has to be fixed. So we are going to fix that, and then we are going to go live. And then what are the other non-critical issues? Okay, those issues can be fixed after we go live also. For government-based projects, when we have a state mandate, we have a compliance issue, I'm always telling you that if you postpone the go live date, it's not you who's paying the penalty, the company is paying the penalty. Okay, so for those kind of projects, critical issues have to be fixed. I don't know how many resources you have to work day and night, fix that issue, go live on that particular date, and then you have to convince the business owners that, see here, all the major critical issues we have fixed now. Okay, public is not going to have any issues, but we will make sure that as an IT team, we will make sure that the other cosmetic errors or other like whatever errors we are having, we will fix those defects maybe in a week or something. That's how you have to convince. But if it's not a government-based project and you have time, then easily they are going to get convinced, because they'll be like, okay, to fix this, how long it's going to take? It's going to take two weeks, 3 weeks. They'll be fine with that. But something like compliance issues, state mandates, right? Everybody is in trouble. Okay. And so you have to like convince, like from your perspective, you have to like list down what are the critical issues, what is member impacting issues, and then how can we fix that? And then if you're going to you need additional resources, you tell to your manager that we need someone who needs to support and all that.
Thanks.
Okay, like earlier, I think someone was asking me a question, right, about.
Yes, ma'am, I was asking.
Okay, so Ronit, like what you are asking that you are from IT department, and then what was your exact question?
No. My question is, ma'am, you are repeatedly telling us that business analyst, we come from like an IT background or it is an IT sector job. But my question is, whenever we are making an analysis, most of the time we are suggesting the company or we are making advice or no, not advice, suggestions and analysis. So don't it be more like a mixture of management and IT? How can it be only IT?
No, it is IT, right? You are making an analysis based upon that IT product. So do you have IT experience?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, that's why it's for you. I think it's difficult to understand. So when you're hired but let's say you're hired by TCS, you're going to a project, okay? So that project is an IT based project, and your client can be a banking client, your client can be healthcare client, your client can be Walmart, your client can be Microsoft, your client can be it can be different, but you are working in an IT department. Okay, so whatever software application that you are developing, the analysis going to be like, let's say this example. Okay, so we have transportation department here. Okay, you're not working for Department of Transportation. Okay, where you are working is you're working for the IT team, who's going to make sure that all the schedules are coming online, right? So you're not directly working for all this Maryland transportation department. Where you are working is you're working in the IT department. Let's say for TCS or CTS, you're working for them, and these people are your clients. Okay, so whatever you are giving suggestion, whatever impact analysis that you are giving to this department is basically based upon the software that you are creating. If I create an online software where everybody can track all these buses, schedules, and everything, then you are business analyst for that particular software. Not, you are not a business analyst for the whole department. So you are not acting like you are the owner of the whole department. You need to act. So you need to have that mindset, right? I am getting into IT department. I'm working for TCS. I'm working for CTS. My roles and responsibilities. I am only the BA for only my IT product, my software. You are going to give that impact analysis or risk analysis based upon the application that you are developing. You are not acting like you are the BA for the whole department. Okay, so it's difficult for you to think hypothetically because you don't have that real-time experience. But if you want to get into IT, always remember when you are getting into one of the IT companies, it can be Deloitte, it can be Virtusa, it can be TCS, CTS, or any kind of IT department, you are solely responsible only for that software application and not for the department's decision. So however that application software is getting impacted, that's what you will do the analysis. And that's where you are going to do all this cost benefit analysis. So we are having, let's say that we are having this application, right? Why are we developing this application? Because everybody has to see everything online. Okay, if there is a bus from the airport, Maryland has an international airport, and we have the bus schedules there. Like people must be able to see when I come out of my airlines, when I'm coming out of the airport. If I want to take Uber, I'll take Uber. If there is a bus standing there, I'll take bus. It's cheaper for me. Then I need to track it, right? Like how long it will take the bus. Maybe from the airport to my home. I have a home in Maryland means how long it's going to take. It's going to take 10 minutes. Okay. So I'm able to see that online. It's much cheaper option for me. So how you will do is like, how can I make this software available for everybody from the airport to all this bus, because now we are integrating with like different departments, right? From this airlines department to the transit administration, there are two different departments. Don't get confused here. So we have airlines department here, we have bus administration, there are two different departments, but somehow we are going to integrate and we are going to make sure that everybody gets that schedule on time. So you will be working for the IT team only, you are not working for Department of Transportation here. Okay, so whatever analysis you're doing, especially if you are working for an IT team or you're getting into one of these software companies, then always remember that you're speaking from that software perspective. You're not talking like a business owner. Okay, business owners are different. They'll be the owners for all these departments. You are not that owner. You are the analyst from the software application perspective. You are the analyst for that software product. Okay. Any other doubts?
Hi, Pradeepa. Thank you for this session. I have like two follow-up questions regarding the previous one. So, do you think like the business analysts are only required for IT projects? Can business analysts be required for projects which involve improvement of processes? Like, say, for example, if I give you an industry perspective from a logistics point of view or from maritime or any other sort. So,
Okay, let's
do
take
you think?
logistics. Okay, so can you tell me that, like an example where a BA is working?
Yeah, so I just want to clarify that. So, will a business analyst role be only required for improving the IT processes for that logistics thing, or we can have any other business process improvement requirements as well?
Currently in the market, the whatever business analyst jobs you're seeing, right, it's in the IT department. It's like
Okay,
if you see their department, right, it will be like information technology.
okay,
So they'll be called as like business analyst, system analyst, business data analytics, all this job, right? It's like what meaning is that they're asking for IT department.
okay.
Yeah. So if you're
And
working for logistics, means logistics will have some IT and they want a BA to gather requirements and develop the software for the logistics client.
okay, clear enough. And my second question will be like, as a business analyst, is there any expected data analysis tools which is helpful or in demand in the industry? Like, as a business analyst, you should have a minimum of those kind of data analysis
I
tools
mean, it's good
knowledge.
to have. I mean, people confuse between data analysts and business or system analysts, right? There are two different profiles. Okay. So,
Yeah.
business analyst, in the sense, mostly you will be working on, like, mostly you will be gathering requirements. Okay. And then, so you'll be working under IT department. Okay. So, you'll be in IT, you will be like gathering requirements, and then you will document all the requirements. Okay, and then you will be creating user stories if it's agile, right? So you'll create user stories, you'll work with the developers, testers, you'll complete that software application, and then during UAT you will be coordinating with the business owners and get the sign off. And there are any production issues, you'll be like handling all this production issue. So this is BA role. Whereas data analysts, in the sense, what they will do is mostly like they'll be working on all these data sets, right? Like whatever tools you say, like Power BI, Tableau, all that. So they are not gathering any kind of requirements and all. So they'll have a very pretty standard like requirement. Give me this report. For example, last 1 month, can you give me a report like how many people got enrolled into this Maryland transportation system? Give me that data. Or maybe last 1 month, can you give me data like how many people opted out of this online e-notification for this Maryland transportation system, and how many end users were affected? Can you give me a report on like last 1 month, like how many production issues were happening? So data analysts, like you'll always work with the data sets. Okay, you'll have a requirement, like pretty standard requirement, and you'll be working with all those tools and all that, and you will like give that report to your leadership team, and they will work on that, right? It's a separate department, I would say. Like maybe like in whatever company I'm working, we have a separate department for all this analysis and all. But the regular business analyst, system analyst profile that I'm talking is like every Scrum team will have a system analyst or a BA. Every software development IT team is going to have this BA profile. This is very different from data analyst. Okay, for you, it's good to have all the skills like Power BI, SQL, and all that. But usually, like you won't be using. Your skill is like core skill is like you need to like gather requirements and document it properly. And you'll make sure the developer is not going to come to calls and he's not going to gather requirements for you. You are the one who's going to give all the user stories to him. So developer will not come and like write requirements. You will be the person who will write everything. You will schedule the calls, you will call all the stakeholders, you will document it, you will give it to the developer, and they start developing the product, right? So this profile is different from data analyst. Data analysis, mostly you'll work with like so much different data, and then with all those tools and all, then you're going to give them results. Accordingly, leadership is going to take some decision. So this is different from business analyst. Okay.
Ma'am, I have a question in this, ma'am. Ma'am, whenever a person searches about business analysis, most of the time YouTubers say you must learn about SQL or Microsoft and Power BI. So how many times it is that the client asks for a business documentation report, or most of the time they ask for a dashboard, or most of the time for both of them? Because Power BI or Tableau, it is more for the display and the dashboard. So what does the client want most of the time?
So like for reporting, yes, you may be using 1 or 2 times, but that is not the only work you will be doing. Okay. So if they ask you a report, like for example, this project, this goes live. Let's say that you completed on this project, you gathered requirements, you documented, you developed these functionalities, everything, the whole application you developed, this went live. And now the owners are coming to you and saying that, Ronit, can I have data? Like how many people opted in, like using the software, right? Can you tell me, like for last 1 month, how many people opted in? That's like one single time you're using that Power BI, whatever tool, and you're creating dashboard and giving that report, that one time. But what major of the 95% you're working on, like gathering data, and then like gathering all the requirements, you are establishing the documents, you're developing the product, and after we go live, we are giving some kind of report. That is different, right? So maybe like you need to know why they're asking in the interview, like, do you know Power BI? Do you know like SQL and all? Because that's not the only work you'll be doing. That's nice to know additional skills. Or if the role involves like too much query and all that, that's like a different skill set, right? So you need to know both then. So you need to know how to document as well as you need to know about all these tools too. So for that, yeah, I know, like in India, we have such positions where there's a mix of both data analyst and BA, where you'll also be doing all this query, creating dashboards and everything. But for you, like for your profile, Ronit, you are from non-IT. Do you have a degree in computer science or no?
No, ma'am. I'm currently in my undergrad second year. I am thinking of doing an MBA, so that was I was asking.
What's your discipline now?
Mechanical engineering.
Okay, so here we go. So you have mechanical engineering in your bachelor's, and you're doing your MBA in your master's, which is completely irrelevant to computer science and this IT application, right? Now, when you want to understand all these like core IT core skills, I don't know whether you'll be able to learn Power BI querying and all that, because it's going to be, your brain is going to like take long time for you to understand these concepts, and then to learn all these concepts, it will take at least for you 3 to 4 months to learn all these tools and this querying and all, how to query and all. It is going to take a lot of time, because I'm 100% sure that you are not used to this type of work in your undergraduate or in your post graduation too. So you won't be doing anything like this. It's going to be complete different syllabus. Whereas when you get into IT, the expectation is going to be different, right? So you can learn SQL, you can learn all this Power BI, Tableau reporting and everything. But for you, Ronit, it's going to take a lot of time, because you don't
No,
have.
ma'am. I have already studied that. I have learned MySQL and Power BI completely.
Okay, so in that case, like, why do you want to do then MBA in different thing? You have to get something into related to this, right?
No, ma'am. I have researched. I was researched about consultancy. There, I don't remember why, but some person wrote, if you want to get into business consulting or something, you should know about business analysis. That was why I was asking, and I have already completed the course about MySQL and Power BI a long time ago. But I was asking if it is actually true that if you want to go into consulting, it's better to know business analysis. That is why I was learning about it.
Okay, so now what's your career goal then? What type of company you want to get in?
BCG or Bain. After that, any exit. For example, if I'm in consultancy in BCG or Bain, after that, if I can go into any other company in exit options,
Okay, and then what's the role that you're looking for?
maybe venture capital or maybe a VP.
Okay, so yeah, so in that case, like, why do you want to get into business analyst, right? If you want to directly go to VP level or executive leadership level, then I don't think so. You will be doing all this like querying and all. You got my
Yes,
point?
ma'am. But as far as research, that is what I want to clarify. They have said that if you want to go into consultancy, it's better that if you know about business analysis. And that was actually one of my other questions, that what is the basic difference between a consultant person and a business analyst person? Both of them analyze, both of them give advice and everything, but what is then the core difference?
Yes, so that's totally different. Okay, so business analyst in the sense from an IT department, you'll be a full-time employee. You'll be like working for that particular software application. Like I've told you, these are like the requirements, right? So the scope for this particular role is you become a BA, then you become a senior BA, and then you become like an executive advisor, something like that. Okay. Advisor, the top max package in US you can get is something like $300K. So, okay. So this is the top package you can get, and then you can stay like this forever, or if you want to get into leadership, then that's different. So from here, you can become a project manager, then you can become a director, and then you can become a staff VP. That also can happen, but it's going to take a long time. But whatever you are saying, okay, you want to go directly into that staff VP category, right? So you're going to do your MBA, and then you're going to join as a business consultant, right? That's what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah. So you want to join as a business consultant. From there, you're going to get into leadership. So for this, like whatever, like the career goal that you are having, you need to have a very, very good degree or MBA degree from like a very good university. You know that, Ronit? Because to go directly into leadership, like directly you want to become a staff VP or directly you want to become a VP level from director, from there, you can become a business consultant. Okay, so like you'll be like probably giving advice to leadership, like on what are the business decisions they're going to take, right? So you'll be working with a leadership team. Mostly like you will be getting all the data from this data analyst team. So these people will provide data to you, and you also need to have some kind of like this Power BI tools knowledge and everything. So these people will give all the data to you. With those data, like you are actually advising your leadership team on taking some of the decisions. They may take it or not, but you are the one, like you will be telling, like for example, for Maryland transportation, like listen, if you don't upgrade to like a future technology, this is what's going to happen. You're going to lose customers, and maybe there is a private company that's going to, you need to outsource this particular department to a private company. So like these kind of decisions, what the leadership have to take, you will provide them some kind of like advice. This can be like totally not full time and can be contracting position too. If it's full time, that's fine. Sometimes like they want from whoever has this MBA, right, from a very good university, from a leading university, these people can work as like per hour. They can come and work and they can give the advice to the leadership team, and they can, from there they can go. So, but what I am telling, business analyst is different from business consultant. If you want to become directly, you want to get into leadership, you need to have an MBA from a very good university, and you can go as business consultant. You need to know how to do all this Power BI, how to make use of all large sets of data, how to make business decisions, and then advice on leadership. And then from there, you can become a staff VP or VP, right? That's different from whatever route what I am talking. What I am talking is you're getting into IT, starting as a junior BA, then you become a senior BA, then you become an executive advisor, and you stay in IT department itself. You're not moving out of IT department. Okay, so this profile is different from whatever I'm teaching.
Yes, ma'am, I understood your point. But isn't it better if I want to become a business consultant, I should also have ideas about how to analyze? I do get your point that a business consultant get the data from other teams and all, but isn't it also better if a business consultant know where the data comes from? Isn't it like a better extra skill?
You need to be a part of this department to extract that data, right? That's there.
Oh.
If until you're not from this department, who is going to give you access? So that's one constraint we have. Yeah. So see, if you're a freelancer, you're going to some leadership team, someone has to provide you data. You work there full time, you have access to all this database and everything. I understand that you can query and get the data. But if you're working as a consultant and you're not a full-time employee, you're going there just to give to advice, or you are not even from IT department, you're dependent on this team to get all your data, then I don't think so you'll have access to that data. Okay, so
understood.
yeah, so for today, I think we covered up to this. Then like remaining for tomorrow, we will cover the remaining of the BRT. And then I will tell you how to complete this BRD and then finally how to get approval for this document. Okay. I hope this session was useful. Thanks everyone for joining. Thank you so much.
Really appreciate
Ma'am,
your
I
time,
have two more
Pradeepa.
questions, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.